Hey, everybody. I'm John Jerkowitz, and welcome to your Monday morning motivation, wherever you are. Thanks for making us part of your day. It's Monday, March 23rd, 2015. One of the things I've thought about over the weekend is that I've been very fortunate and blessed to work with a lot of successful people. And one of the threads that runs through that success is the fact that they have a very solid foundation, and that foundation comes from their personal core values. And last night before I went to bed, I was cruising around YouTube just looking at stuff, and I ran across a song I hadn't listened to in a long time. The song's called The World You Want, and it was recorded by a group called Switchfoot. And the song begins by raising the point that you and I make the world we want every day we're alive. Now, I've lived 61 and a half years, so I'm not naive enough to know that we bounce out of bed every morning going, oh boy, another day. I get to live. Oh, how great. So there's some days that there's a real challenge. But the other thing I did is I dug a little deeper after I listened to the song. And I realized that those very successful, very whole and balanced people that I knew in my life are people whose personal core values were mirrored in the rest of their lives. Now, it wouldn't be a Monday morning motivation without me telling you a little story. During the summer, when it's warm enough here in Western Kentucky, I take a walk in the morning, just about after the sun's come up. It's my favorite time of day. And one summer, I walked past a bus stop in our neighborhood. And there was a young lady, college age, always waiting for the bus. And as is my custom, I will say good morning to anybody that I walk past. Some scurry away wondering if I'm a stalker, and others return the greeting. But each morning as I came around the corner, that young lady was standing there waiting for the bus. And I always say, good morning, how are you today? And she'd kind of nod a little bit and grin and say, good. And I'd go on my merry way. Well, the early part of August, one Friday morning, I continued my same routine and walked past and said good morning and got about 15 feet past her. And I heard a voice say, excuse me, sir. And I started patting myself to see if I'd dropped something, turned around, and the young lady had approached me. I said, yes. And she said, I want to thank you. And I guess I got a puzzled look on my face. I said, for what? She said, I have had a really rough summer. I haven't made all the money I needed to make to pay for my tuition. We've had some challenges in our family. There's been some illness. And she kind of smiled and said, just about what every 20-year-old goes through. I said, okay. And she said, you don't know how much it meant to me every single morning that you smiled and said, hello, how are you today? She said, it got me through some days that weren't real happy. Well, there have been very few times in my life that I haven't known what to say. That was one of them. And I said, well, thank you very much. I'm glad I was able to help and went on my way. Well, the whole rest of that day, I really thought about how something so small and seemingly insignificant made the difference in somebody moving forward. Now, at the end of that song I talked to you about, You Make the World You Want, or The World You Want, they change it from you make the world you want every day you're alive to you change the world you want every day you're alive. You know, I get deeply troubled at times because I hear so much negativity. And it doesn't matter what side of the opinion poll you're on, all we talk about is what's wrong. And we're changing the world. Now, from where I sit, we're not changing it for the better. And I certainly don't want to open a political diatribe here about what side of the table you sit on. But we're always going to have differences. We're always going to have things that separate us in opinion. So here's your challenge for the week, and for me too. Go out there and make this the world you want. And make it by affecting those people at the bus stop, maybe the clerk at the grocery. I'll give you another challenge 1A. Maybe some of you already do this. Most people who wait on you in a retail establishment have a name tag on. Address them by name. When they say, "How are you today?" take a quick glance at their name tag and say, "I'm good, John. How are you?" Watch their face light up. Or if you're not comfortable doing that, when they hand you your change in your order, look them dead in the eye and say, "Thanks. I hope you have a great day." And mean it sincerely. All right, I know what some of you are thinking. That's all that hippie stuff. It's simple. It costs nothing. And imagine just the milk of human kindness, acknowledging another human being during this next week, how that's going to set your day and set your foundation on the right track. I promise you, you'll feel better. If not, I'll give you your money back. No, seriously, I think you will. That's how we start. That's how we start small, by the people around us. And you know what? That's the most difficult thing. Because we see all those flaws. And we see all those things we just don't like, whether it's people we live with or people we work with. So this week, make this the world you want, and make this the world you change every moment you're alive. I'm John Jerkowitz, and I'll see you next week.